منرحب فيكم مستمعينا مشاهدينا عن جديد ومنتابع برنامج آفاق مسكونية مع فقرة كولتشر اللي بنستمر فيها بجمهورية مصر العربية والمؤتمر العالمي السادس للجنة الإيمان والنظام التابعة لمجلس الكنائس العالمي. هالمؤتمر اللي انعقد بمركز لوغوس البابوي بوادي النطرون ببركة صاحب القداسة البابا تواضرس الثاني بابا الإسكندرية وبطريرك الكرازة المرقسية. بإطار هالمؤتمر وجلسات المؤتمر اللي ضمنها تميز المؤتمر بصلوات يومية خاصة بالمؤتمر، وتم إعداد كتيب وبالأحرى كتاب خاص بهذا المؤتمر ضمن كل هذه الصلوات، وتم توزيعه على جميع المشاركين اللي كانوا أكثر من 400 شخص من لاهوتيين ورؤساء الكنائس وباحثين ومتخصصين. وبهالسياق نتحدث أكثر عن هذا كتاب الصلوات وعن أهمية صلوات المؤتمر. بصرنا نستضيف عبر الزوم القسيس الدكتور مايك روبرتس، المدير التنفيذي لبرنامج الحياة الروحية والمدير التنفيذي لبرنامج الإيمان والنظام بمجلس الكنائس العالمي اللي بينضم لنا عبر الزوم. As part of the Sixth World Conference on Faith and Order at the World Council of Churches held at the Papal Logos Center in Wadi al-Natroun in Egypt, we are pleased to interview today Reverend Dr. Maiky Roberts, Program Executive for Spiritual Life and Program Executive for Faith and Order at the World Council of Churches. Hello, Reverend Maiky, and greetings from Beirut.
Greetings to you, my dear brother. Greetings from Geneva, Switzerland. It's wonderful to be with you today.
Thank you, Reverend Maiky. First of all, congratulations on the success of the conference in Egypt. It was really a space and an opportunity to share experiences from around the world. Reverend Maiky, to begin with, how can you clarify the role of Faith and Order Commission at the World Council of Churches?
The Faith and Order Commission has at its very core a mandate in which it seeks to call the churches to visible unity. And so it is one of the oldest commissions of the World Council of Churches. Its work actually precedes the official formation of the World Council of Churches. And so its history has always been a very long one, and it has always played a very integral role as it seeks to address the issue of visible unity and calling the churches into what it means and what that mandate, that vision entails. And so it is not in any way strange that the theme for the Sixth World Conference relates to visible unity, hence the question, where now for visible unity?
Reverend Dr. Maiky, how do you see the importance of the conference held in Egypt?
The conference itself plays a very, very major role. First of all, it is the Sixth World Conference. And when given that 100 years ago, well, close to 100 years ago, the first one taking place in 1927, that we've only had 6, speaks to just how important these gatherings are. And with this gathering in Egypt, with all that we are now facing in today's world, especially at a time when the things that divide seem to be more visible than those things which unite not just nations and peoples, but even the churches, I think the gathering at this time serves a very key role in helping the churches to understand our call again to visible unity. And for this conference to be hosted by the Coptic Orthodox Church, and for it to be held within the context of the African continent and also within the context of the Middle East, points as well to that part of the world where we often also sometimes hear so much about conflicts that is taking place. And yet here, this call, this location, at this point and at this time, I believe is a very timely reminder, not just for the churches in that part of the world or the churches throughout the world, but indeed for the whole world to see the importance and the value of unity, especially in the world in which we now live.
Reverend Dr. Maiky, the conference included daily prayers that promoted the bonds of fraternity and love among the participants. How do you describe these prayers, these daily prayers, and what it included?
These daily prayers were shaped by the theme, not only the general theme of the conference, but each day there was a particular building block. And so the first day, the building block was that of faith. Then a second building block was mission. And the third building block was unity. And so what the spiritual life did for the last 2 years is that we gathered ourselves together and sought to figure out how we could use those three pillars and build out each day. The opening prayer focused on the God, the Trinity. And so within the context of the opening prayer, the focus was aiming to highlight the Trinitarian nature of the Godhead. And then once the opening prayer was done, then these three pillars that I mentioned were expanded upon each day. We were also mindful that the conference is taking place on Egyptian soil. And so we wanted, given that we were in the desert, we also wanted to draw very heavily on the spirituality of the desert fathers and mothers. And so throughout all of the prayers, from opening to the very closing, we were very intentional in capturing various quotations from the various desert fathers and mothers, which also helped to highlight the particular theme, whether it was the theme of Christian unity, whether it was mission, Christian mission, or elements of the Christian faith, or even an understanding of the nature of God as Trinity. And I think that by also allowing the voices of these desert fathers and mothers to speak to us in our modern day context was a very powerful way of engaging with this aspect of the conference. The WCC is divided into 8 official regions, and it is customary that when we have WCC gathering, that the spiritual life also captures songs from the various regions. And so while we gave attention to each day and making sure that there were spiritual quotations from the various desert fathers and mothers, that look backwards was balanced by the singing of songs that had been written specifically for this event. And this for us was a most amazing experience, because about 2 years ago, we issued a call from the World Council of Churches for persons to write and to submit songs. And we received quite a number of songs. And so what we did is include all of those in our resources as well.
Reverend Dr. Mايكي, a special book was edited especially for the conference in Egypt. How was this book made, and can you tell us more about its making of process?
Sure. 2 years ago, we pulled together a team. We had Father Macarius, who comes from the Coptic Orthodox Church, as he was part of the host committee. We also had Yusuf, one of our members, who is from the Coptic Orthodox Church, a musician, a wonderful choir director, and he lives here in Switzerland. We also had Dr. Zaya, who was originally from Japan. She's from the Anglican Church, another musician. Unfortunately, she had to leave our team due to work commitments, and so she was replaced by Reverend Radica, who came to us from the Australia Uniting Church. And then we also had Reverend Dr. Maria Kanu, who came to us from the Calvin Institute of Christian Worship, and the Reverend Dr. Angela Burles, who is a member of the Faith and Order Commission. She's from the Old Catholic Church here in Switzerland. And we had Bishop Peter Eaton, who comes to us from the Anglican Church, or what is called the Episcopal Church, and based in Miami, and one last person from Malawi, in the person of Alec. And so all of us worked together. And in the end, we also brought on other members of the Faith and Order Commission, Reverend Dr. Mantha Barbie. We also had Brian Henn, who helped us with the music. And so throughout these last 2 years, we were the ones who sorted through the prayers, sorted through the songs, making sure the themes for each day, choosing the biblical readings that would accompany each day, that would help to highlight the particular theme. And as it were, not just weaving each day, but also making sure that we could weave together from beginning to end all of the prayers, so that collectively one had a sense of being together from day one to the very last day.
Reverend Dr. Mايكي, the conference theme was "Where Now for Visible Unity." How do you see Christian unity today, and how we can live ecumenism amidst all the challenges?
Since my particular area of focus dealt with the spiritual life of the gathering, one of the things that I found very helpful as a way to answer this question of where now for visible unity as Christians across the world, I believe that visible unity is readily seen when we are able to pray together. There's something about praying together that joins us as one church. There's something about singing together, that same breath that we all take in sounding the notes. I believe that somehow as we pray together, as we sing together, as we join our voices and our hearts together, that the music and the prayer together work in such a way so that the visible unity which we are praying for and which we are speaking about actually becomes a lived reality. And so for me, visible unity is not just about being able to share in the Eucharistic table together as different churches, but visible unity is also about the fact that we can indeed pray together. We can sing together different songs, different confessional expressions, different cultural expressions, but yet still, as believers and as Christian people from throughout the whole world, we can still all be together and be united in prayer.
Reverend Dr. Maikie Roberts, Program Executive for Spiritual Life and Program Executive for Faith and Order at the World Council of Churches. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you for your time.
Thank you too, my dear brother, and thank you for all of the wonderful work that the MECC did in Egypt at Logos Center. It was good to see all of the collaboration that we've had together. Permit me to also say thanks to the members of the Faith and Order Commission, the Faith and Order Secretariat, the WCC member churches in Egypt, and of course to the Coptic Orthodox Church for their wonderful host, and to you, the members of the Middle East Council of Churches, for all that you also did to help us highlight and to celebrate this moment together.